Good evening and welcome back to MTG Card Collector. I said on, I think it was last Saturday because I didn't do it Friday. But anyways, I said that I was going to break down my deck tech or do a deck tech on my upcoming deck that I'll be playing at the Magicfest in Tampa. I'll be going to do one of their Pauper events. So I have my Pauper deck. And I know a lot of people hate this deck. I know a lot of people are hoping that one or two of the cards would have gotten banned today, being Tuesday. But it wasn't banned, neither one of them. And the one card that is banned in all other formats is still not going to be banned in Pauper. So, if you don't know what deck I'm playing, I'll give you a couple of hints. It has blue. And it has black in it. Yep, I'm playing blue, black, Delver. So let me break this down real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 islands. You'll notice there's 4 evolving wilds. We're up to 11 cards. 2 terramorphic expanses. Yeah, there you go. That's 13. 3 snow-covered swamps. 3 of them. That's 16, 17, 18. Dimir Aqueduct. I love this card. I only need 1, though. And Ash Barrens. Because sometimes you need to cycle a land. Anyways, you'll notice that there's very limited lands. Very few. Because I don't need many to run this. It's a Pauper deck. And it's cheap, and it's fast, and it lets me do what I want to do. I got a bunch of hard counters, counterspell, 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 counterspell. I decided to go with the Ice Age counterspells because I like her a lot better. Actually, no, because I like people to know that I've been around, been playing this game for a very long time. No, it's because I think she's probably the best looking counterspell there is. Anyways, 4 of those. I got 3 foils. I know a lot of places, some people who play this deck play with 4. I like 3. First of all, the hard cost is terrible. But you can discard an island card and another card rather than play this mana cost, which is great to counter spell. So I'd rather do that one and mix this with another one of my cards. This is one of those I wanted. Yeah, Gush. You may return 2 islands. You control the owner's hands rather than pay Gush mana cost. So you can draw 2 cards, take one of those islands and another card, trash it. You're counting a target spell, but you're also gaining two cards. So anyways, a lot of people like that combination band. Personally, I think, it's not that powerful. Could be worse, but yeah. 3 foils. It's a great counter spell. Dispel, because it's an instant counter spell for 1. I mean, it's 1. Stop that lightning bolt from hitting you. Daze. Cost you 2. You may return an island you control to its owner's hand rather than pay Daze's mana cost. Counter target spell unless its controller pays 1. So there's another one. Daze. Then, of course, you got Gush. I only got 2 of them. I'm trying to get a 3rd one from a friend of mine who has one, but I might not get it by Friday. But Gush. Yep. Costs 5. You may return 2 islands you control to the owner's hands instead of paying Gush's mana cost. So, yeah, draw 2 cards, bring 2 islands back to your hand. If you've already played spells, take the tapped ones, right? Take the tapped ones. Always take the tapped ones. Never take the ones that... Anyways, Brainstorm. I love that old art out of Ice Age. I'm sorry, this is this better Brainstorm than the other one. Draw 3 cards, then take 2 cards from your hand and put them on top of your library in any order. You can take any 2. Any 2. Any 2. Doesn't have to be the 2 of the 3 that you pulled out. Anyways. Got 4 of those. They're going to eventually get creatures on the deck, so you're going to want to kill them off. At least, try to. Target creature and all other creatures the same name as that creature get -2/-2 until end of turn. And Pauper is one of those where most creatures coming into play are going to be 1/1s, 2/2s, 2/1s, 1/2s, maybe a 1/3, but you know, most of the time that's what you get. That's a good way of killing them off. So I got 3 of those. And then, of course, a Disfigure. Target creature gets -2/-2 until end of turn. This is a great way of just getting rid of one creature if you only have one creature. The downside is these cost black. So that's why in here, you might have only noticed there was 3. I'm sorry, yeah, there was 3 snow-covered swamps. But you got like 7 echoing wilds. So you get an island out, you know, turn 1, turn 2, maybe an evolving wilds. Crack it, get a swamp. Now you got, you know, now you got pretty much all the land you need. You know, all you need is 2 islands and a swamp. That's pretty much all you need. You can cast just about everything. Slows you down when that's all you get, but you know, hey, that's good. Now let's go into the creatures. Delver of Secrets. Delver of Secrets is awesome. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may look at the top of your library. You may reveal that card. If an instant sorcery card is revealed this way, we transform Delver of Secrets. So you don't have to reveal the card. You just can't. You can't transform it unless you reveal an instant or sorcery card. So if you get a land, why would you reveal it? If you get something else, why would you reveal it? But yeah, if you do get an instant or sorcery, reveal it. You know, turn 2, you get this baby coming in. Insectile Bomber Aberration. Human insect flying 3/2. There you go. Yeah, they can kill it, but whatever. You know, it's a flying 3/2 on turn 2. You're hitting them for 3, which is great. It's awesome. And since it's not coming in and, you know, doesn't have summoning sickness, it's able to hit on turn 2 for a 3, which is awesome. Got 4 of those. Delver of Secrets. And here's another change from mine to some people's. I only have 2 Augers of Bolas. Augers of Bolas cost 2. It's a merfolk. When Augers of Bolas enters the battlefield, look at the top 3 cards of your library. You may reveal an instant sorcery card from among them, put it into your hand, put the rest at the bottom of your library in any order. It's a 1/3. This is great, but I have so many ways of looking and finding cards and stacking my deck that I only felt that I needed 2 of these. The other 2, I went back old school. At least old school when it comes to Dragons of Tarkir. Elusive Spellfist. 1/1. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, Elusive Spellfist gets +1/+0 until end of turn. It can't be blocked this turn. It can't be blocked this turn. Greatest thing about this card, even if you're using it for defense, if you're still casting spells that aren't creature spells, it has prowess, basically. It pretty much has prowess. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, Elusive Fist gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Can't be blocked. So it's got its own version of prowess. So those are my Augers and my Elusive Spellfist. And then Gurmag Angler. This is the Delver that you're looking for. Cost 7, right? But delve 6 cards from your graveyard into infinity or into exile, however you want to look at it. You get a 5/5, and if you can get a 5/5 out fast, you know, you're turn 3, turn 4. If you're able to get this out, you know, you're going to dominate the board. They're going to have to do something about it. So that's the whole point. Sorceries. Yep. And I told you earlier, I got ways of finding cards, right? This is how you find them. Yeah, it's on your turn. So maybe on your turn, turn 2, you have 2 cards out. You're attacking with your, whether it be the Delver of Secrets or the other one, the Aberration, whatever. You're spending it on Preordain, ordering, scry 2, draw a card. You know, I got 3 Preordained, so I put 2 Ponders in. Yay! No, I'm just kidding. I like the scries, but I like to look at 3 cards instead of 2. So this one's nice because it lets you shuffle your deck. That's awesome. So if I don't like the cards I see, I can shuffle them. This one I don't get to shuffle the deck up. I just, you know, have to draw 1 card out of 2. Gatixian Probe. The only downside to this card is it's a sorcery. Most people don't like this symbol, but it's a Phyrexian life for blue. You either pay 1 blue or you pay 2 life. It says so right there. You can pay either with 1 or 2 life. So even if on turn 4 I'm tapped out, I can still cast this, so I don't care. The only downside is the sorcery, so I can't use it on their turn. But I get to look at their hand. I get to see what cards they have, what cards, you know, they have at this moment. Maybe not going to help me out incredibly, but maybe it stops me from attacking. Maybe I get to hold back a counter spell, or just, hey, I can cast every card in my hand and not care. So that's the greatest thing about this spell. And the whole point of it is you pay 1 on your turn to do something. So turn 2, if you got a blue and a black, you know, maybe a blue and a blue, but if you have a blue and a black, okay, so you attack, you tap the blue, you bring in Preordain, you get to look at the next 2 cards. On their turn, you know, maybe they have a creature, you get to kill it, you know. You want cards in your graveyard. The faster they're in your graveyard, then the faster you get to kill them. So that's the point of the game, right? Now, let's talk about the I can't remember the name of it now. Sideboard. Got 2 Stormbound Geist. Cost 3, it's a downside, but, you know, cost 3, it's a spirit, flying. Stormbound Geist can block only creatures with flying, has Undying, it's 2/2, so if they kill it, you get a 3/3. That's pretty good. You know, they kill it again, then it just goes to the graveyard. I got 2 of them in here, and I'd probably switch these out with maybe the Bolas, depending on what I'm playing, but probably the Bolas, or maybe 2 of the depending on what they're playing. If they're playing no creatures in their deck, you know, maybe I take out a couple of the creature kill spells and I put these in. Narcolepsy. It's enchantment. I know most people are like, well, why only 1 of? So Narcolepsy is a great card. Enchant creature at the beginning of each upkeep. If enchanted creature is untapped, tap it. Let's say they bring out their own Delver of Secrets. You're playing another blue-black Delver card. They bring out their Delver of Secrets. You're able to, you know, their Augler, not Delver of Secrets, but their Gurmag Angler, Gurmag, I think that's how you pronounce it. You're able to make it go to sleep. It's tapped. Nausea. All creatures get -1/-1 until end of turn. So if they're playing a white weenies, sprite deck, fairy deck, elf deck, whatever, this is going to get everybody, you know, everybody's sick so you can attack. Shrivel. I love Shrivel. All creatures get -1/-1 until end of turn. Guess what? It's the same thing. It even costs the same, exactly the same. All creatures get -1/-1 until end of turn. All creatures get -1/-1 until end of turn. These are the cards that you're going to sideboard in if they're playing little 1/1 weenie decks. Hydroblast against your red decks. And right now, red is doing pretty good in Pauper, but against your red decks, counter target spell if it's red, or destroy target permanent if it's red, and it only costs 1 blue. So maybe you take out, you know, 3 creatures if they're playing a red deck, and, you know, bring in these Hydroblast to kill off their stuff. Dispels, here's 3 more. Another thing against red, because they're fast and normally sorceries. Normally instant. So you bring in your Hydroblast, you bring in your Dispels, you know, stop the red from doing anything. Annul. Annul is a tough one because there is, in this format, there is a version of Tron. And Tron sucks. So if they're playing a Tron deck, if they're bringing in, you know, maybe even an Infect deck, this is able to kill off artifacts and enchantment spells. So this would be a good one to have in there. And then, of course, I have Nihil's Spellbomb. And I chose these 2 because Relic of Progenitus exiles both graveyards. And you kind of need your graveyard, even later in the game, to get the Gurmag Anglers out. So I want to get rid of their graveyard, not my graveyard. So if I'm going for, if I'm playing a blue-black player, that, you know, another Delver deck, I'm going to sideboard these 2 in. That's my deck. That is the deck I'm going to take to Tampa, Magicfest Tampa. These are the cards that are still kind of on the cusp that I thought about putting back in. I thought about adding to it, or at least changing it a little bit, but if you think I should do 1 or 2 of these, you know, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Also, at the same time, if you haven't subscribed, if you like to subscribe, hit the subscription button and hit the bell for notifications of when I upload a new video. I do videos like deck techs and booster openings. I love the booster openings. I love booster openings. I've even done a couple other types, but, you know, these is what I do. Agony Warp is an old style way of playing this deck. You give a creature -3, -0 until end of turn. You can give another creature -0, -3 until end of turn. It's a way of, they have 2 creatures in play, killing one and weakening the other. Only costs 1 blue and a black, and I think that's the downside to that card. But I thought about putting one of these in the sideboard instead of maybe Shrivel or Nausea. But I don't know. I mean, Shrivel, Nausea kind of do a lot of work. So that's an iffy card. These are 3 of the creatures I used to love playing in this card. Igneous Scab. Ingenia, whatever. Cost 3, which is the down part. It has prowess, and you get plus. You pay the 1. It gets +1/+0 until end of turn. So you play a bunch of late game. You play a bunch of spells. You're going to run out of spells in your hand, but if you get spells out 2 or 3, you're pumping this up every time, right? So you get 2 spells out. Now it's a 4/5. You pay 1. Now it's a 5/4. So you're able to boost it even more. So it's kind of one of those things I like about that card. And I thought about putting this one in place of the other 2. And then, of course, the old Sultai Scavenger. Another Delver card. The downside to this one is normally when the people see this card, it costs kind of like the Auger and the Angler, whatever, Gurmag Angler. 6 and 1. You want to hit them once. You're not going to get both these out on the same turn. You're not. So you're either hitting them for 3, which really isn't that much for that cost. You hit them for 3. Well, you guaranteed the next turn you're not. Even if you pull this, you're not. You don't have enough cards in your graveyard. So I've taken these out, and I've kind of wondered maybe I should take a couple, put a couple back in, but I don't know. Well, anyways, I'm going to Magicfest Tampa. These are my new combat sleeves. Yes, you heard me say it right. Combat sleeves. Brand new. From Star City Games. I thought I would go with some new sleeves instead of my old ones. I thought this one was kind of cute. That, and it was cheap. I do recommend them. The one thing that you're always looking for is you want to make sure you can't see through them. I try not to scuff them up, bend them, because probably after Tuesday they won't be worth. They'll be worth going to Friday Night Magic. That's about it. But the last thing you want is you don't want a card sleeve that you can definitely see through when the card is in there. Because if you can see through the the sleeve, your opponent could say that you're cheating and call a judge over and say that your sleeves, you can see through the sleeves. And if the judge sees through the sleeves, then he could say theoretically that you're cheating too. So, anyways, leave me a comment down below if you like the deck. If you don't like the deck, leave me a comment down below. I hope everybody had a good night. I hope everybody has a good week. It is a strong week coming up. I'm working all the way up until Friday, so we'll see how everything goes. If everybody has a great week, then I'll see you guys on Friday. Friday night. Pat Crackin' Friday. Oh, yeah. This is my new blue deck that I'm most likely going to play at Friday Night Magic. Yeah, you know which one it is. It's only missing, I think, 3 cards. But anyways, and the land. But have a great night. See you later.